Well, guys, thanks for making the effort to join in. So, hopefully, caught gold. Alessandro, did you manage to get in on the gold? Have you traded it at all today? Well, the entry point was actually here on the push back above the 20 because it didn't hit the 50, so that's what I was waiting for. Okay, good stuff. And how's it been? I mean, I think gold, well, until today, was just pretty much short. So yesterday worked out really well, and Friday was a good day. This morning, obviously, had the first trade, gave a few pips back because I didn't like the way the sort of candle rocketed up. But then caught it back in a bit more on the long. They managed to take a nice short, which took me out on the limits just below here, and then managed to get back in, take it back up to the 5-minute 20. And I was waiting for a pullback, but it just kept pushing. So yeah, I didn't want to get in on this candle because when this was actually here at the 20, it was just a massive red candle, and I was thinking that could just carry on a bit lower, and so I thought I'd be patient. And then it broke back down, and I thought, right, it's getting on the 50, which is what I mentioned to you guys, but it didn't actually hit. So my entry was here, just on the pushback above. But I'm targeting 40 pips from here, which puts us around here, somewhere around these highs. So fine with that. I think looking at the daily, the way I'm expecting this to close out is going to be some kind of reversal candle. That's the way they reacted from 50 is a beautiful bullish move. So I'm hoping that that will continue tomorrow. And you can see it here. Last time there was a sort of low test, but it could even end up as an engulfing candle. We may see this evening, maybe within the next hour, it just can keep pushing up, maybe to 63, 64, before the day closes out. We've still got till 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock. So let's see how it continues, but not happy with that. On the lower time frame, the 20 is above the 50, 50 is above the 100. It's completely crossed back over, so definitely a change of direction. Yeah, hoping to just see this through. I know pound suffered a bit today, but yeah, it's just stuck in a range. And if we take the pound yen, for example, just one I know we'll like to trade. Today hasn't been good, but again, we always going to reject this sort of 140.7 area, and just back in this box. But this break the other day, I was fully expecting to see that keep pushing on down, but we gapped up yesterday and carried on. So let's see, but I expect more so a break back down to the 20. Yeah, I mean, it does. I mean, gold is conflicting across the different time frames, but I like to go on the dailies for the sort of next day. So if this ends green, the next morning, I'm typically looking for that momentum to come in and continue from where it left off before it may change any direction. I mean, I say on the 5-minute, we've got the 20 and the 50 above the 200, and the 20s above the 50, so it shows an uptrend. The hour is looking across. We've broken back above the 50, and so it should be sort of targeting the 200 here, which will line up somewhere about with the 4-hour 20, 4-hour 50. Sorry. So we've got 4-hour 20 where we are right now, but you look at that candle. That is just majorly bullish. So I'm expecting with this kind of, obviously 4 hours is not long been running, but expect some kind of push up, fill this wick, and continue to that 4-hour 50. And say I'm not trying to be greedy and push it too far. I think that's quite conservative. It may come back down. But yeah, hopefully what we've got to envision is the sort of crossover happening and it pushing right the way back up. Yeah, I mean, if you look here, I mean, we'll take the 4 hours. The 64 is where the 50 is. I mean, I would say there is a bit of support resistance there. I mean, look, we've got this, what is the candles wick there, and if we go further across, we've also got it there, and again here. So I do think that, you know, 64 is a bit of a resistance area, which is why, you know, I'll be coming out just below that. But yeah, you know, this 50 is going to creep down in the meantime. Hopefully that gives us a good trade, and if we can push back above. I mean, look what happened last time. There was a low test. I mean, and that didn't even end up green. This is completely engulfed the last couple of sessions. You know, it just pushed up all the way up to that 50. So hopefully that's what we see happen. So that one there again. Yeah, I think it's realistic. I think it could be a good trade. And could potentially be the start of the Christmas run. I mean, you know, weekly, you take a look there. Obviously, we're stuck below the weekly 20, but the 20 is above the 50. So you know, it's overall bullish. You know, we've had a couple of low test consolidation here. This could be the sort of consolidation before push back up, or consolidation before break lower. But seasonally, gold tends to be bullish rather than anything else. So I would say one of the best bets is to you know, look for those longs. And yeah, looks like I say on these lower time frames, that is how we want to. That is how we want it to run.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming back down to this 20. Let's see if we do get a push down. You know, I mean, I'll move my stop just below here now. But if we do get a push down as it's from the 4 hour 20, then you know, we'll exit. We've had a good day. I don't mind giving a little back if I have to, but you know, the way this is looking, I think we'll get a nice push up. I like the fact that it's sort of consolidating, and it keeps making higher lows and higher highs. Is there anything else any of you guys have looked at or traded? I'll move on to any other pairs. Dollar yen. Let's take a look at that. Let's go to the daily just so it's easier to get a picture on. Yeah, I mean, with this typically have a good run, I bet, you know, this should really be declining a bit. And what is it you've been focusing on with dollar yen? Yeah, so broke it back above 200. The only thing you've got to remember is if we're thinking and assuming that gold's easily going to have a good run, then this is probably going to have a very bad run. Yeah, but it seems to be pushing up. What's the monthly? So the monthly is at the 20 and the 50. So this could be a case that, you know, this 20 is about to start crossing over, and we are going to majorly sink. This could just been the, you know, especially because there's a lower low. This could be just the pullback before continuation lower. think it's a could be a bit of a trap. What's the lower time frames? Yeah, I mean, the 1 hour looks bullish. 4 hour looks bullish, so maybe it's going to push and break on up. And that doesn't bode well for gold. And I think there's a lot hanging on the China-US trade deal as well. So I think that's going to be the main holding factor on the dollar. But it seems that there is talks and things are still progressing. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was news I was reading a bit earlier on about just get it to load back up, about the sticking points. However, much as they've said that, there was another report that was saying about it was still moving forward regardless. Yeah, and the delays aren't good, and the markets will read that negatively, and that is why things like gold are, money is going into gold. The only thing that I find a little bit odd is that gold's had a push up, yen hasn't. So, although maybe things are catching up a little bit now, taking up the pound, euro not so much. So there's definitely mixed signals out there. But this is what I want it sort of like this. I like to just stick to gold. Just look at it on its own instead of worrying about other confluences, as it were. But yeah, I think there's going to be some direction change sooner or later. As soon as we get some final bits of information on the China, US, and also Brexit crap. Once we find out what's going to happen there was a thing earlier. I think that it was favouring Conservatives. Where is it? Yeah, support for Conservatives at 43%, which is better. No one wants Labour in. I mean, anyone that does is just someone that doesn't understand the economy and what damage it can frankly do. So that's my honest opinion of it. But yeah, we'll see how that keeps progressing. The indices have been really strong, so I've been waiting for a pullback to really occur. I mean, it just doesn't seem like there's been any sign of it happening. Before I sort of run off on that, I said with the sort of extra trading and stuff you've been doing, is there anything trading-wise or psychologically that you want us to touch on before breaking anything else down? No. I will try to let it play out unless there is something that's happened that I just think, yeah, you know what, that's definitely going against me. I won't not take the trade that I believe in, even if it looks a bit iffy. So let's just take gold as an example. So let's just take that as on the 5 minutes where it was this morning, as that is a good one to look at. So it was when we started breaking back down. I'd gone short, and was in a bit of profit. Then all of a sudden had this sort of flat area push up, and I just thought, you know what, I do not like the look of that. And there's times I've exited the trade that I believe in, But as I say, I've never not taken the trade that I believe in and gone in something else. Not, I say not believing, but I've always done a little bit of homework before. I always have a little bit of bias, or I've seen something change, like this afternoon. Now, we were short, lapping up the profits, and then dynamically could see that this was obviously oversold. I mean, it had sunk 40 pips within about 10 seconds. It was bound to turn around. And you know, you just got to be a little bit dynamic with trading and take what you see. And so took the trade. As much as, you know, my early belief, I suppose, may have been to go short, I was still confident and happy to just take that long. I wasn't expecting this move to happen, which is why I came out of the 20. I didn't expect it to break up and just go on like that. I mean, otherwise, you know, anyone that jumped in at 50, obviously banks and institutions did. So that is for sure a bottom. I've lapped up, you know, over 100 pips within an hour, which is a lovely move. So yeah, I mean, as I say, was not expecting that to happen. But because that move did happen, we had the crossback over the EMAs, had this sort of nice slowdown, smaller candles, pullback and consolidation, and that, you know, turned me towards the longs. Nice to see we're just getting a bit of a push to the upside now. Hopefully be out of this trade with another 40 pips before the day's out. But, yeah, we'll see. But yeah, to answer the question directly, always take the trade I believed in. You know, like I say, there's no harm in closing it if it proves you wrong. And that's going to happen with trading. You know, there's more often than not, I'd like to think that I'm right, but you know, and I suppose the evidence shows that I am. However, I'm always open-minded. I don't fall in love with the trades, and I would rather cut my losses and exit earlier if I can see that that's definitely not going my way, rather than just watch it be drained back to the market. But that is a really powerful thing to teach yourself, to be dynamic and to have the willpower to just cut it at a loss, even though in the back of your mind it's sort of saying, but you thought it was going to do this, so you should stick to it. You know, when the evidence is against you, the evidence is against you. It would save you a lot of money sometimes by just cutting it early. So yeah, definitely worth bearing that in mind and trying to teach yourself that that quality. So you're asking because it relates to anything in your own trading. We can try and address, because what I've seen a lot in the past with people is, let's just say, like earlier on, they were short, and then this has happened. Then they've gone short again, and it stopped them out. They've gone short again, and it stopped them out, because they stick to that bias. That's when it becomes dangerous. You know, they're sort of revenge trading, but in the same direction that's taken them out the first time. You know, yes, we do it when we go long at the 20. If it breaks, you know, go long again and go long again. Gives us 3 chances at getting that entry. That's fine, you know, because we know we're giving up maybe 10 pips, or another 10 pips, and another 10 pips, or whatever it may be. So it's 30, but then you're targeting, you know, 100 pips or whatever to the upside. Then you're making it back and more. It's all about that risk management and those numbers that makes it work. But if you know, you don't have a reason to, e.g. like this move earlier, like I say, some people might have been short, it's gone out, stopped them out, they thought I'm jumping in short again, you know, it's going to happen. You know, there's going to be circumstances where that is the right way to trade, but you know, when it's clearly a bullish move has happened, that is when you've got to say to yourself, I'm going to get out, I'm going to take what I've got and reevaluate, and then see how bullish it is and change your bias. Don't fall in love with one direction. Be prepared to have to adjust and base it on the technicals rather than your emotions. And like I say, I bet there was a lot of people out there today that went short, and you know, probably lost a ton of money when they could have just changed their bias, stuck with what they can see. Hopefully that makes some sense anyway. Great stuff, great stuff. Right, well, let's have a looky at everything else. I'm going to start off on the daily. Must admit, the only other things I've really been looking at are indices and the yen crosses. Haven't looked at too much else. We had a quick look at dollar yen. Let's just break down where we are there. So, as I say, I am sort of waiting for this to try and turn around a bit, but just no real sign of it. Daily just looks super bullish. There is a little bit of a slowdown up here, just because it's obviously reaching new highs all the time. But yeah, there's no real evidence that suggests looking at shorts. And if I said to myself I have to be trading, then I would just keep taking it long. But yeah, it's a new highs. No genuine sign of it turning around. I want to see a nice reversal daily candle like we got here, you know, and it pulled down. Good, of course, and some good pips there. In fact, I remember talking about this on one of the previous webinars, but I didn't take it. So I probably just had my head stuck in gold and then focusing on that. The DAX. This looks better for a short, and the reason for that is this sort of flat movement and this consolidation. It's broke back down, it's come up, it's found resistance again. You know, if we used to see a nice engulfing candle, nice reversal candle here, then you know that would be a great cause for a short, put you down to this 50 level. And at that point, you know, it might just turn around and carry on back going up, but you know, there's plenty of pips to catch within those moves. So yeah, definitely worth keeping an eye. Let's have a look on the 1 hour and 4 hour. So yeah, I mean, it's nothing majorly bearish there, although you know this could just be the pullback. Let's get the old fibs out. So it's all rejected 50% mark, so maybe it is going to start breaking down. No, nothing to really support that's definitely happening as of yet though, so wait for confirmation. But yeah, definitely worth keeping an eye on. Definitely worth keeping an eye on. FTSE sort of similar. I mean, again, it's hit the ceiling here, so we could reverse back down to the sort of 20. And again, if you look, we've got plenty of resistance and support here. So this 20 is either going to form, you know, the new support or carry on. I mean, it respects these levels so well. So yeah, sort of fully expect to see a kind of pullback. Let's have a look on here on the 1 hour and 4 hour. So yeah, really slowing down. So it's not getting any buying pressure. So yeah, fully expect to see this kind of break down. Yeah, 4 hours starting to push down. So yeah, it could be a nice few pips in short in the FTSE. So the DAX, I prefer trading the DAX out of the two. I don't know why, I just find it a bit more readable. Gold's having a bit of a run. Let's keep on going. 20 pips of profit, so let's see if we can hit that magic 40 with Aussie CAD. Now, so this looks like it's just rejecting. Could head back to the downside. Aussie yen. And it's Aussie dollar. A good bit similar to gold, looking to maybe pull back to the upside. It really looks like it should have a pullback. But this Aussie chuff I like. This looks like a good break and pullback, and on the daily could be really strong. The only thing I don't like is it hasn't really respected those EMAs. However, we can't always expect it to. You could look to enter short with a stop above the 618. It's a wide stop because we're looking on the daily time frame. But that could be a move that heads right the way back down to here. This kind of area. So that could be a big move. Could definitely be one that's worth looking at. Worth watching. We get a nice daily reversal breakdown. Could be the start of a nice trade there. So now it's going to push back to the upside. I'm not sure if any trade Aussie crosses. Yeah, golds are moving. 61. Not much more now. We're going to take those apples. Keep on moving. Oh, it's just rocketed up. 62. I've got it on the live. It's literally just going nuts right now. So it's probably going to smash on through any targets. Take a quick look just while it's going a bit haywire. But as I said, it likely end up engulfing, which is certainly pushing to the upside. This 5-minute candle is just turned into a monster. But we are just really moving on up. So let's hope that continues. It's a lovely big bullish candle. I don't know why, between 6 and 7 we do just tend to get this surge for some reason. It just happens a lot. I don't know why, but as I say, it does. So I expect maybe the next candle or two consolidate or whatever, and we'll see if it continues to push up. We like that. It's only just a few pips off being 40 pips. I would have been out. Annoying, but anyway, we'll let her run. No reason not to with this bullish pressure. I've just moved stop actually to I've literally, just if you've written that is exactly what I've just done. I've just literally moved my stop up to break even. So I've sort of secured, well, it's a free trade. We'll let her run. So but yes, that is literally the reason I just went a little bit quiet, was exactly what I did. So yeah, bravo. So what we want to see, just in case it's showing the left and going right, smashes back down. Yes, it could just take some profit now, but at the same time, also, I'm trying to let things run a bit more, rather than my tendency to just pull things too early. We'll see. I'll probably get taken. Yeah. I mean, I'll probably get taken out for break even now, and then it goes and does the big move. Now that I've done that, but anyway, we'll let it play on out. So it was Aussie chuff. Let's get back to that. I think it looks like a good trade. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see if we do get this breakdown, and the leg down will probably be the same as the initial leg down, which will be a nice trade. So one to keep an eye on if you, trade that. So I don't. So Euro pound, I mean, nothing to get excited about. Dollar. I mean, euro dollar. I'm looking at that and I'm thinking that, you know, that after yesterday's candle and today, I expect tomorrow to be a bullish run. That coincides and works alongside our gold idea, and it also coincides with dollar. The indices looking to be pulling back, so that that is very possible. Very possible trade is along tomorrow. I mean, that looking at those two candles, I can't see why they wouldn't. I mean, you can mark my words if you want. We'll see how that plays out tomorrow. Remind me in the morning in the group as well, and we'll check it, because otherwise I won't check it first thing. But I expect that this probably will pull back based on those 2 day candles. I don't trade euro dollar, but if anyone does, then I would say that's a good high probability trade. Aussie. So Europe Aussie, I like the look of this. I mean, again, we've broken off of this channel, so we could be moving, you know, a hell of a lot to the upside. But yeah, I mean, this we can get rid of this one. Let's get rid of that one. But we've pushed back above. The 50's holding. 20's now about to cross over. You know, if we can get a nice bullish candle and stuff, then, you know, we might see a good push up to the recent sort of highs, or at least here. You know, I mean, we've got plenty of this definitely acts as a sort of resistance here on 63940 kind of level. But yeah, there's potential for a good push up there. So a couple of 100 pips away. So let's have a look on the 1 hour and the 4 hour here. 1 hour is actually broken below the 50. Interesting. So yeah, I guess we want to see that push up and hold above to really confirm. Yeah, 20 is above the 50 on the 4 hours, so yeah, I think, you know, it's good calls for potential upside. You know, you could if you was to get in on this test. The only thing is it hasn't actually touched it, but yeah, I mean, could put a tight stop there. You know, CAD, similar story, but below the sort of trend line Euro CAD, so not as interesting. Euro Yen, push it back up, so yeah, much like the others, seems to be, well, slightly conflicting, because gold's going strong, yen should be strong, but it's not. So I prefer pound yen over the two. Pounds we've had a brief look at, sort of just hovering around and going sideways a bit. So this pound yen, I guess back down to that 20, but you know, again, it's just stuck in this sort of range. It's stuck in this range, so it'd be nice to see a break and a full push out. But again, it's going to be held by Brexit, so not too much interest there. We'll discuss briefly. Yeah, dollar CAD should be looking for a move down. I mean, look at this daily. I mean, we've had a good push up, a pullback, push up, slowing down, so should be coming down. So that could have been in the fifth leg. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's going to start turning around. So yeah, I mean, looking at that, it's majorly bearish. Again, it's in a kind of, we'll scroll right out on a bigger range, but we've got another sort of range that it's been in since August, really. So you know, could be heading back to the middle points where the EMAs are. So very likely. Well, a tough, different kind of story, really. Dollar Singapore dollar. This is interesting. So, actually, got smashed back down. First time it's retested the 50, close to the 200. 20s below the 50, in my opinion, should just be breaking right back down. Don't see any real reason for this to be pushing up. So, yeah, could just be about to break back down. Slightly conflicting on the different time frames. I like the daily. Yes, just mainly the 5 minute with gold. So I'll quickly whiz through the last of these currencies, and we'll spend a few minutes on that, just to show how that's being used in my day-to-day trading. There isn't much else interesting anyway. I've sort of been looking, guys. You're seeing dollar yen's broken out of this sort of channel that's been there. So at this 70 mark, I mean, maybe we get a nice push up for the evening and a pull back to it. Good cause for a long. I think 1 hour and 4 hour just bullish, but just nice breakout. Nice breakout of the box, so continuation expected. CAD Yen, I think this just could be a bigger move to the downside. I mean, it tends to work nicely to the way that I like to trade. I mean, this was the short I caught a couple of weeks ago. Played out just wonderfully. So, expect that will, this could, now this broken down, could break to the downside. But everything is looking strong against the yen. Is the only mixed signal we have. Confluence I wouldn't want to try and battle with. Chuff pushed back above. So Caddy looking slightly strong. So Chuff yen, similar story. Some peanut highs. Yeah, Bitcoin dying, as we've talked about many times. Seriously, just see this dropping and dropping and dropping. So I'm not going to get excited about that in any way, shape or form for a while. That's it. So let's go back to gold and let's talk about the RSI. So gold running just lovely at the moment. So I was expecting, so earlier on I was expecting to see this in the lows. I mean, there was a trade, it was actually this trade I took up to the 20 because it was in this sort of lower area. It wasn't completely oversold, but if we go back, I'm going to show you examples where it's commonly seen it in the oversold, and in the second little leg where it sort of gives us a bit of a channel is where it's moved up. So I'm just going to keep moving because I want you to see that it tends to do it more than once. So here, for example, so why is this going to frame me up there? So we've got this oversold level in here. It's right in the middle, isn't it? So it's going to be it. Just put it there. So sorry, just so you can see. But first time had a little push up. The second time pushed up, and even though on these ones it didn't reach the oversold, that's when the volume came in. So it's almost like the later touches can have a a really strong effect as well. So let's just break this back down. So here, it's up near this level. It's broke down. I don't think I traded that though. I'm just trying to give you some examples of it where it's been. But definitely when there's been a number of candles in one direction, it's definitely been. It's definitely played well to look at the shorts. I mean, if you look at it here, if you used to take this short earlier, so this was the oversold area. I mean, it did come down a little bit, albeit maybe only about 10 pips or so. But then the second one's where it's actually not in the oversold, but starting to tick down is where the real drop happened. So again, like right now, to be honest, we're in a region where it's looking oversold. So maybe it would be wise to take the profits. Let's see if I get a bearish candle coming out. I'm not going to show too much concern right now. But yeah, we've sort of touched on being overbought, and it's sort of now doing that second movement, and maybe in a second what we're going to see is that kind of drop. Let's see. Let's see how that plays out. But I do think that this has been a useful tool in adding to my trading. There was the trades I think it was last week when we was on a sort of session actually, which when it was sort of ticking down, much as bearish, I kept buying the oversolds and just taking it back up to the 20 and catching a quick sort of 10-15 pips every time, and that happened a few times, which was great. So definitely worth adding it to the war chest, and just adding it as a confluence. I never just look at it. Price action is the most important tool that we have. Looking at price and saying, well, what's it doing? What's happening to it there? Is by far more valuable than any EMAs or anything else. It's just to be able to read price action. And that starts with multi-time frame analysis and having that bias. Like I say, looking at this daily and thinking, you know what, that's engulfed yesterday's candle. It's just taken out the last couple of sessions. Had a low test from 50. It's the first time that it's closed back above here. We could easily see a push back up, and that's going to build your bias. It's going to build into what you think is going to happen for the next day, or the open, and this is why I like to look on the opens and just see where we are, see if we do get a big push up when it starts and sets the trend. Yeah, this 4 hours now pushed back above the 20, looking strong. 4 hour 50 could quite easily be coming in. Here's a nice profit. Got literally about 15 pips. Oh, be at the 40 pip marker. Come on. There hasn't been the sort of volume in the markets that there has been. Admittedly, it's been a little bit sideways in places, so it's been good to have been able to capture both sides. Hopefully, you guys have been able to capture both sides as well. You know what? It just doesn't seem to want to break that 62 region yet, so maybe we're going to get pulled back for a push up. I'm going to cash out. I'm going to take the 30 odd pips. You know what? It's going to rocket now, isn't it? Now that I've done that, and look to re-enter on the pullback. At least with bank tip, just in case. Anyway, I think if we look at these indices, they're ticking on down. Gold's looking good, but there's never any rush. There is plenty of room to the upside for gold. This is the whole thing. And remember as well, if suddenly any minute Trump does a tweet about the US and China, then it could just tank. So always keep on top of the sort of news and what's happening. But I like this daily. I like how it looks like it's going to close. And looking at this right now, I'm going to be looking at more longs for tomorrow. Yeah. So, any questions, guys, or anything else you want me to run through before we sort of wrap it up? Anything that can really help you with your trading that we can go through, analysis-wise, psychologically, anything at all? You watch, it's going to push up now that I've exited. Typical. I can't moan. It's done me well today. Okay, great stuff. Well, yeah, I mean, just try and keep it engaged as you can. Keep it fresh. Keep it fresh in the mind. You know, even though, like I say, sometimes I've been a little bit quiet the last couple of days, just because I'm just getting a bit conscious that I'm sort of giving signals. Yeah, no problems there, Sandra. Thanks for checking in. And I don't want people to sort of be jumping in at the wrong times or just doing it without sort of reason, and potentially losing any money. Yeah, typically now it's going to push up. Knew it, just because I've got out. It was bound to happen, wasn't it? It was bound to happen. Would have given me my 40 pips. Damn, was it? Yeah, literally 10 pips away now. But yeah, so I want everyone to spend the time analysing and being able to do this for themselves, rather than me just throwing it out there. Hopefully what I say is useful and you use that as confidence building to your own analysis, etc. But yeah, as I say, I just don't want to be making it too easy. Or costing anyone any money, you know, and don't ever go on what I say if you've got a contrary belief or going to trade it in a different way. You know, please do contradict me. It's great to bounce off different ideas and you know, potentially better trades. So yeah, by all means, only here to help. Yeah, and that's the best way to do it, you know, because I'm confident with my trading and I know my numbers. So even if I have had, you know, a couple of losses, or you know, if I've had a loss, it doesn't bother me. I'll make it back up. So it's as much as, even though when I'm putting in what I'm going to do, I might suddenly see something for that, like a massively bearish candle like this, like earlier on, where I didn't get in on the 20. There was because of how bearish that was, but other people might have just expected me to get in and got in, and then it's gone back lower and they might have come out. Yeah, I mean, there's no harm in that at all. You know, it's everyone's sort of risk is different. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I generally am comfortable with a couple of percent for trade. You know, and if it doesn't go my way, then I just pick it back up the next day. You know, don't overtrade. I must admit, I've since using the 5 minutes and trading the way that we've been trading, I have been doing a lot more trading per day than the normal. I mean, when we first started these sessions and I was just trading my sort of standard strategy, I was probably doing 8 to 12 trades a month. I'm sort of doing that week now. Yeah, and, you know, it's I'm sort of enjoying it because I wanted to find a short-term strategy that I could make use of, as well as the standard sort of strategies, like the breakout strategies that we've gone over numerous times. But yeah, you know, I just want to move to the war chest, and this is why I'm now sort of glad I did get out, because this big bearish 5-minute candle could be ticking down a bit lower. Not that there's anything to worry about, but yeah, and this could be the pullback to the 20. So I've now secured that profit. I'll get back in at the 20 and take the extra out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was purely using my breakout strategies, which I still use, but you know, they don't happen very often, and you know, I wanted to be immersed in the markets even more, and so it's it it's it's been enjoyable for me to try and adapt another strategy and spend more time in the charts and trading. And yeah, so I'm you know, and I'm glad I've been able to share that with you also. That's the main thing. You will see very soon we've got some changes. I've got another site being built which can hold the webinars on itself. And you're going to see a whole change of a few different things. The campaign started for the marketing. A lot of emails and a lot of things are going to be happening over the next week or so. All ready to get some more bodies in for the new year, really. Just to push on even more. And you know, I'm hoping that will help everyone else as well, because there'll be more people to feed back off of and jump off of. We'll be moving away from WhatsApp and building a sort of Slack group, among other things, or maybe I'll do a Telegram. Just trying to think what the best way of doing it is. I'm being sort of advised that the guys I've been working with at the moment have definitely been doing a better job than the other people have let me down in the past. So yeah, looking forward to progressing the FX Bible itself. Also partnering with some people called the FX Guys that have a news kind of feed. They want me to do some kind of educational stuff and some videos there and share some content. So they'll drive some people over and also give you guys another place to check up on news. So yeah, all good things are happening. France and Germany. Overhaul of the EU. Interesting. Anyway, okay. Well, if there is no further questions or anything else, then I will love you and leave you. And yeah, we shall catch up again next week, but obviously catching the group prior to that. Keep an eye on gold and you know, just keep analysing, sticking to trading what you can see. But doing great, and you know, glad that you know what I'm going to do in some respects. So that's rewarding for me. So I'm glad. Have a good one, and speak to everyone again soon. Have a good evening.